And for the pledge. Okay, thank you. As you may have noticed on our agenda, we're slightly out of our typical order, but we're going to begin tonight with our superintendent's report, and then we'll move on to the approval agenda items for discussion. Mr. Hughes.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here tonight. Just a public service message. On May 2nd, the Hartland Township will be unveiling the Veterans Memorial at Settlers Park. We've arranged with the township and our transportation department to run a shuttle bus from the east parking lot at the high school over to the event. We understand there may be a lot of people attending. So if you'd like to plan on starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, the event starts at 10. The shuttle will be leaving as soon as it gets to the high school. It'll load up with whoever's standing next to the sidewalk on the drop-off pickup lane at the high school, the main drop-off pickup lane as you come in. The bus will run shuttles over, and then they'll run shuttles back until noon. So anybody that would like to do that, you may also park in the high school and walk the trail. If you recall, we have a partnership with the township, so we connected the high school to Settlers Park. It's less than a half-mile walk, but if you'd like to walk it instead of parking over there and dealing with all the traffic, that would be a nice thing as well, too, for you. So we just want to make sure that we make it easy for people to attend the event, all right? So I will bring up board. I have Brian Hassler here tonight, and he's got some of our friends that have been very successful this year. So Mr. Hassler, our high school athletic director, I'll turn it over to you, and I'll make sure I get the lights.
I know a few of them are coming in still, so I'll go through the kind of the report first before we call up some of our special guests. Winter athletics by the numbers. Overall, we had 370 participants, 10th through 12th, 277, 93 ninth graders. Middle school programs, we had 169 participants between those 6 sports. Total of varsity programs was 14. Middle school programs was 6 with a total teams of 35. Again, one of the things I started doing tracking over the past 3 years is the participation numbers of kind of each sport, just to kind of give me trends to see what's coming in. It's always good to know for coaches too, kind of what's in the 7th and 8th grade as well, kind of helps us plan ahead. As you can see, archery's kind of made a big jump. Boys basketball stayed steady. Girls basketball has dropped a little bit. I know we have a big 8th grade class coming in next year, so we expect those numbers to kind of go up a little bit. Border cross as well. Bowling's kind of stayed steady. Competitive cheer had a nice jump this year as well. We kind of brought in our 6th graders into our middle school program, which has kind of helped bolster those numbers, and they've done a great job there with Coach Candace. Figure skating, again, that's a unified program, united program that we have. Numbers have been pretty steady there as well. Gymnastics, obviously it's gone down, but those numbers are pretty much the same every year, 15, 14. Boys hockey has been steady. Again, another one of our stellar programs. POM, again, is another program. It's kind of had a little bit of a dip. I know we're actually in the process of already having trials for POM. We're going to have a JV team next year, so we're bringing that back. The numbers, so that number will go up next year for sure. Powerlifting, you can see, is almost doubled in 2 years. Ms. Burkheader, who leaves that, who's here, has done a phenomenal job of growing that in a short time. Ski stayed pretty steady. Boys swim has gone down a little bit, and wrestling has been steady as well. Excellence in the classroom, and I'm going to point these numbers out now and keep these in the back of your mind. There's going to be some a later slide that I'm going to reference again with regards to this. So Hartland Scholar Athlete Award winners, which is first semester 3.0 GPA or higher for JV and varsity. Again, these two stats exclude freshman student athletes. 83% of our athletes achieved a 3.0 or higher for JV and varsity. KLAA Scholar Athlete, which is a little bit higher. It's a cumulative 3.25 GPA or higher. Varsity only, 72% of our varsity athletes achieve this number. So far, we've had 31 members of the class of 2026 have committed to play athletics at the collegiate level. Here's a few of the schools that are represented. We had a fall signing day, which I talked about at the previous fall sports report. I'm going to go over a few of the kids that have signed for our spring signing day. And then we are also having an athletic recognition ceremony. So some of the ones that we didn't get, we're going to kind of tie that in as well after that, because we're going to have everything set up and do a little mini signing day on that day as well for anyone that didn't participate. Cam Campbell going to Northwood University for track. Leilani Cho going to University of Michigan for twirling. This is a pretty big deal. It's like, I think there's only 5 people that made it to the round of interviews. She's going to be leading out the band for the University of Michigan. It's a very awesome opportunity for her, and she's going to be a great representative for from Hartland at the University of Michigan. Brett Karwowski, Michigan Tech University football. Ariana Kinney, Northwood University tennis. Grace Lasinski, Huntington University soccer. Michael Morin, Virginia State University for golf. Eliana Newer, MSU, Michigan State University for cross country and track. Sophia Nunnery, Northern Michigan University, cross country and track. Claire Pilak, Nova Southeastern University for lacrosse. Logan Randall, Lansing Community College for baseball. Sebastian Ritzema for Northern Michigan University for swim. Sawyer Scott, Macomb Community College for baseball. Carter Smith, Trine University for football. Moving on to our unified basketball program. Coach is Lauren DePesto, who obviously just won the Teacher of the Year, does a phenomenal job. Her and Taylor Wagner, one of our softball coaches. She also helps coach with girls basketball well. Very involved in the community that get this program up and making it as successful it is. They played an 11-game regular season schedule, including an assembly game during the Brighton school day. Next year, it'll be back at Hartland. We'll be hosting it, and I think we're going to flip-flop with the Special Olympics fundraiser that they did recently, diving into the pool. I can't remember, it's the ice thing.
Polar plunge.
Polar plunge, that's it. I should remember, it was there. So next year, that one's going to be at Brighton, and we're going to flip. So and that was a great opportunity for 2 school communities to come together, and there was so much support from many of the basketball athletic programs around from both schools. Special education athletes receive a Hartland varsity letter. Their partners receive a special unified patch for their varsity jacket. Again, they played a game at Little Caesars Arena this year as well, at the end of the year on March 13th. Here's a few photos. One of them's at the Brighton. These both are from the assembly game at Brighton. Sergio is just a kid that always lights up the cafeteria, and they do such a phenomenal job. And like I said, lifting the spirit of the school. On to student achievement, student success for the winter of 2025-26. Boys, now this is where I reference back to that scholar athlete, the academic success, and I highlighted here. Boys swim and dive, they had 1 swimmer qualified for the MHSA state finals, but they made team academic all-state. They were 3rd in Division I. Wrestling, this is a long one, and we're going to speak to a couple of our wrestlers in a little bit. KLA West champions, KLAA conference champions, district and regional champions, state finalists. That's their 3rd state finalist in 4 years. They had 12 individual state qualifiers, 9 all-state, including 2 individual state champions, who were both 3-time state champions. Coach Kyle Summerfield and assistant coach Carter Hankins were coaches of the year. They were also team academic all-state. Competitive cheer, qualified for states, finished 6th at the state finals. Highest team GPA in Coach Farr's tenure, which earned them honorable mention academic team all-state. They had the 4th highest unweighted GPA. Boys basketball, KLAA West champions and district champions. Most wins under Coach Bluin since he's been here. Parker Sunman was the first 1,000-point scorer for the boys. Team academic all-state, which is above a 3.3. Girls basketball, another team academic all-state, which as a whole they averaged above a 3.3. Hockey, team academic all-state. Bowling, we had 1 girl bowler, Carly Gentry, that qualified for individual state finals. Archery, state champions in 3D and bullseye. along with over $24,000 in scholarship money that they earned at that competition. We have the individual state champions, Carissa Hall and Jaden Boshaw, and they're on to nationals as well, competing in that, looking to go for a three-peat there. So it was such a good winner that actually had 2 slides, so this was good. Gymnastics, KLAA division and conference champions, regional champions, I believe that's the 4th year in a row for that, state champions, 2nd year in a row. They had 5 individual state champions and 6 all-state performances. Varsity snowboarding, the girls team won the state championship, which was the first time in school history. 4 girls qualified, including individually including Mia Mills, who was undefeated during the regular season, and she took 3rd overall, while her sister Emma took 5th at the state finals. Varsity ski, 1 individual qualified for the state finals. Will Pushman finished 36th in the grand slalom and 38th in slalom. Keegan Hoos was the coach of the year for the D1 boys and girls, and he's done a phenomenal job with that program. Varsity figure skating, which again is a united program. They were the level B and C, were state champions in combined individual scores. That was the first time ever for that program. Pom-pom qualified for D2 state finals and finished in the top 8. Powerlifting had 2 boys and 2 girls qualified for states. We had 3 powerlifters hit national qualifiers and 1 all-state finisher. Out of all of our athletes, we had first team all-state athletes. We had 9 wrestlers, 4 gymnasts, 3 hockey players, 1 power lifter, 1 cheerleader, and 2 border cross athletes that were all-state. And again, in going back to that academic all-state, a lot of that's through their coaches association. So some of these other sports, not that they're high achieving as well academically, but a lot of that is on the coaches association. And really it's a testament to our coaches going out and making sure that they put in all those forms so that our kids get recognized. And they did a phenomenal job doing that this year. Chasing titles. Here's a photo of Parker Summan with his 1,000 points with James Fitzgerald, our principal, another big supporter of the sports programs at Hartland. Our girls competitive cheer finals. That's our team there. Went up there to Central Michigan competing. D1 state runners-up, our wrestling program, and also our district champions for boys basketball. That was a thrilling game over in Fenton, defeating Brighton. Titles captured. Here's our girls border cross team celebrating the state championship. Pretty cool. Again, they're not an MHSA sport, but I'd say they have one of the coolest trophies. They have a traveling trophy that's a little snowboard that gets basically puts your name on it or your school's name on it and gets to go from school to school. So I'd say it's one of the cooler trophies that we get to see. Titles, 2 times captured. Girls gymnastics won their 2nd straight state championship. And again, they swept from KLA regionals all the way up to the state championship. And we do have our girls gymnastics team here, so if they can come on up. A few of them represented.
So Brian, if I'm not mistaken, in 2015, we put up chasing title blank frames in the high school gymnasium. And I believe this group just filled out number 10, is that correct?
Yes, we're in the process of getting it put up. We're trying to find a good enough photo that they can put up there. So that'll be the last one. We do have one more space that I'm probably gonna add one. So the future programs have something to strive for, but they did fill that spot. If you guys wanna like spread out a little bit here. They did, again, this team, again, coming back, obviously winning 1 state championship was huge, and a lot of key pieces came back, which allowed them to compete at a high level. They also had a lot of incoming students that contributed to that and kind of built on that throughout the year. I'm going to let Alexis Fundich say a few words, if you don't mind. I don't want to put you on the spot. But she was 1, and then we have Kate Goslin, too. Is she here? Am I missing?
She's right here.
All right, sorry. 2 of the girls, again, that compete at such a high level. The overall all-around champion basically won 3 of the 4 events. The one event that she didn't win, her co-part Kate won. So we swept all of the events in that on the individual side of it, which led to, again, I think just the overall scope of this program and what they've done over the past few years is a testament to the youth programs, the families, the communities that have poured into the gymnastics programs and putting in the effort, because again, it is a sport that takes a lot of time, a lot of commitment from family, from the student athletes to be successful at. So if you want to say a few words, just to.
I think it was great to especially win state championships a second year in a row, and our team worked really hard, and it was a great way to end my senior season. So, yeah.
I would have to say the same thing as Lexi. It was just really great to be a part of this amazing team for all 4 years of high school.
You're on the news every day, so you should, I figured it wouldn't be a big deal to put you on the spot since you're on the news every day, but maybe that's scripted, I don't know. So, again, it's a true honor, like to have them here. I'm glad that we're able to celebrate the successes of the programs that we have. And like I said, just what they've done in the past 2 years, I always say this, the people behind them are going to be standing on the shoulders of giants. So thank you guys for all that you've done and representing the school outside of these four walls. That's the biggest thing, because a lot of, again, you're not hosting a lot of events here, and a lot of these state championships are held at outside venues, and all of our student athletes, we always get such good reports about how you guys uphold yourself and how you value competition and treat other people. So thank you. All right. Oh, let's make sure I didn't miss one. All right. Aiming for greatness. I don't know if any archers are here. I know they were practicing. So we'll go over, again, aiming for greatness. The archery program, another phenomenal back-to-back state championships. Top down, I think we won 6 of 8 from the elementary school to the middle school to the high school, 6 of the 8 possible individual titles. This team continues to work hard to represent the district. It's a sport that I think it's one of those sports, again, it's got that lifelong commitment to it, lifelong factor to it that they can use, they can take with them. It's, for me as an athletic director, it's one of the easier ones because, again, their coach, Shelby, does such a phenomenal job of leading this program, taking care of the student athletes, make sure that they're getting to their events and competing at such a high level and pushing them to excel. So I know they're going to be competing at nationals shortly, and come the summer, hopefully they'll be here to speak to them at my spring athletic report. Titles times 3 captured. So now we have 2 of our probably most storied athletes here at Hartland, Dallas Korpanik and Bodie Abbey. If you guys could come up. Slightly different path to 3. I know Dallas, again, won 3 consecutive. Finished 3rd his first year as a freshman. Bodie, again, won his freshman year. Came as a runner-up his sophomore year, and then dominated his last 2 years. I believe he teched his junior and senior year, basically teched fall, which is 15-0, beat everybody in the state tournament by 15 points or more on his way to those state championships. There's a long list of accomplishments that they've achieved. Both of them have won over 200 matches. KLA, conference championships, was it 4? Bodie just missed out on 4, unfortunately, because he was sick that day. So I would just give it to him as an honor. I figured he would have won anyways. But just again, I think 3-time Livingston County Wrestler of the Year as well. But I think the 2 of them, on top of that, have been great leaders for this program. They've both been captains since their junior year. I know in talking to Kyle, one of the things they talk about is just the kind of the humility that they have. I know it's a sport that, again, it's a grind. Again, having to make weight. We go into the lunchroom every day and we have kids come up to us and they have to go, they got to go check their weight before they can eat lunch. Just being in that room, working hard. It's a sport that's probably one of the toughest sports physically and mentally that you have to prepare for to get ready for. I mean, and along with gymnastics, I'll speak of that one too, because just I go back to gymnastics and seeing when they have to get up on a beam, to me that's one of the the most mentally tough sports, and kudos for those girls for doing that. But I say the second one, and then tied to that is wrestling. And throughout their 4 years, ultimately, in watching, again, when you're in that position, when you're winning state titles and you're kind of the face of the program, they get interviewed a lot. And in all the interviews I've said, there's always such a humility about their skill and their talent. They've been gifted, but it's never a braggadocious attitude. They are humble, but they do attack the sport with a ferociousness that I don't know if we'll see anytime soon coming through here. I know what Coach Kyle Summerfield does. We have a lot of wrestlers that have high expectations, and the bar, I think, with these two has been set beyond what is really expected from kids. And they handled it in the face of adversity sometimes, whether it was sickness, whether it was overcoming a loss his sophomore year, I remember the article this year, Bodie had a tough loss at the beginning of the season here against a kid from Ohio. About a month later, went down to Ohio and just no more. There was no more taking it easy on anybody. And from there on out, turned that corner. Going back to even Dallas last year and looking at his, I think, state championship match, which was 1-0 nail biter, right? And I talked to Kyle, and he's like, it was never a doubt. Even though it was 1-0, it was never a doubt that he was going to win that. So that confidence that these two had on the mat was also given to them and kind of expelled from like their coach as well. He always had that confidence in them as well. So if you guys want to say a couple words, I know you're used to getting that in front of you.
Yeah, I just want to say, I know me and Bodie are both blessed. I mean, we've been part of this program for the last 14 years, ever since we were 4 and 5. We've been in the Hartland room, and just all thanks to just the community. I mean, the amount of hours that Kyle and the rest of the coaches put into us every year, not even just in season, out of season, making sure we get mat time and just being a part of our lives 24/7, and then just all the families surrounded us, we're super grateful for.
Yeah, I can agree. I think you build a different relationship through wrestling than most other sports. It's kind of close. You know, as he said, we've been doing it for 14 years, and we were wrestling longer before that. So it's been a long time. You build a lot of close relationships with a lot of people, and it's good to do it here in our hometown. I know some people like to leave and go to other schools, but it's great making a name here in Hartland and glorifying God through it. So it was I think it was great experience for us both, and we're thankful for the community and all the coaches and everything else. So.
And they're both going to phenomenal programs that compete at a national level. So at some point, their two teams might be facing off against each other at a higher level, but I know that camaraderie that they've built in those four walls at Hartland is something that cannot be taken away, and will kind of go with them forever wherever they go. And we're appreciative of that and the leadership that they've shown to the underclassmen. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Just roll the credits again. We wouldn't be as strong of a athletic program without the leadership that we have. You saw the photo earlier of Mr. Fitzgerald, who was there celebrating Parker's 1,000 points. Obviously, Mr. Wheeler, Miss Gus, Mr. Borg, they do a phenomenal job. They understand sports. They have kids that play sports. They're there to cheer on the teams, whether it's in the hallways, making announcements about them, just talking to them on a day-to-day basis. Mary Jo Ferris, my assistant AD, she's done a great job as well, and I know she took on another role as filling in a principal role at the elementary. And on top of that, so she's been there all the way doing top-notch work, all the way from Jennifer Sogg. A lot of these are, again, the same people that I give credit to. I do want to give, again, I know Carol Hayes, obviously, is retiring here. She's been an absolute blessing to work with when it comes to scheduling. She has a handful of responsibility that doesn't include Hartland High School, but she works with us getting weekend building, scheduling, and vice versa. So I would want to thank Carol for all the work and effort that she's put in helping us make Hartland High School athletics great. That's it. Yep. I'll put that up.
So ends the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Hassler. Thank you, Mr. Hughes. All right, now we're moving on to agenda, approval of agenda and items for discussion.
I have a quick question. Item number 5, I had a couple of residents email me about what item number 5 is all about. It says closed session request.
Oh, item 4, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
Item
thank you.
4. And I didn't quite know how to answer that, so
Okay, so your
I'm hoping
question
for
is,
somebody to answer just what that closed session request is all about.
the closed session request is for the board to meet with our attorney under section 81H regarding some written documentation, and 81A is that part of the closed session is to cover a complaint concerning an employee. And I'm guessing you probably want me to say that that employee is Mr. Hughes. It's the superintendent. Is that what you're after?
Well, if that's part of the information, yeah. I'd like to
Okay.
have that clarified, yeah. Thank you.
President Coleman, I would like to.
Can we,
Sorry.
should we get a motion on the table first before we
Do you want me to read it
try
first?
to amend them? Yes. Can we read the
Right, 'cause
motion
that's how
before we
you're
go any
supposed to-
further?
Thank
Yes.
you. That's how you're
Thank you.
supposed to do it. I move that the agenda for the April 20th, 2026 regular meeting be approved.
Second.
All right, motion by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Ms. Custodio, to approve the agenda and items for discussion. Mrs. Shaw, you had a question.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda, item 2D. Based on conversations you and I had today, and conversations you've had with most trustees, I think reading a alternative motion to include all of the, most of the policies that we have on the agenda tonight, to do them in one bundle as opposed to individually. I will just note that the last one in the bunch, 2111 value statements, is not included in the alternative motion I'm going to read. So the motion that I will propose is going to include all of them except for 2111.
Okay, so this is a motion to amend, and I think I had that. I do. Okay, motion to amend the agenda to include an alternate motion for item 2D, which is the approval of the policies.
Correct.
All right, and would it be okay then if I read the proposed motion that you want to add?
Sure. Or I can read it, it's up to
Okay,
you.
why don't
I'm
you
not
do
sure if
that?
anyone has any discussion, or if we need to, if you just want me to read it, or there should be any
Sorry.
discussion before.
Point of order. Don't we need to second that? I guess to back up even
It
further,
was.
right? I think we're not actually approving or amending the agenda with this motion, right? So can we wait until
It was-
2D to?
Well, the
just
intent
read
was
a
to amend the agenda
alternate
to
motion?
include the alternate motion.
Right.
That was,
But the agenda doesn't include motions, right? So it's just a list of items. When we get to 2D, you would just read your alternate motion.
Because we're only approving the agenda, not the detailed agenda.
okay. I guess that's fair.
Understand and appreciate why you're trying to do that, but I don't think it's the appropriate.
I do think it is the appropriate way, but we will leave that up to President Coleman when we can include that alternate motion. Based on conversations we have had, this is the time for us to add it.
I don't think anyone's arguing the idea. I just don't know what we would actually change on the agenda because it's only a single item and it reads
Right.
new and revised policies.
I understand your point, yes. And as I've mentioned, I think at the table before, I typically work from the detailed agenda because that's what we use to run the meeting. But the formal agenda itself does not state a motion. So, so I guess we don't need to add it now. We can propose it at the
Sounds good.
when we get to item 2D.
Okay.
Okay. So, and that motion to amend was not seconded, so that was not officially under consideration. But what is on the table is the motion to approve the agenda and items for discussion brought forward by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Ms. Custodio. Is there any further discussion on the approval of the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Approval of agenda. Mr. Gogoleski?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Custodio?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. Item 1D, consent agenda.
I move that the consent agenda for the April 20th, 2026 regular meeting be approved.
Support.
Okay, motion by Mr. Campbell, supported by Mr. Keller, that the consent agenda be, for this meeting, be approved. Any discussion?
I just have a quick question. So what about the minutes from our April, our April committee meeting? Do we need to approve those, or?
I don't believe the committee meeting minutes need to be approved in this meeting. The regular meeting minutes do,
Even though it's an open meeting of the whole?
even though it's an open meeting. It's a committee meeting, so I believe it is separate.
Okay. So when would we approve those?
I don't know. I don't know that we have approved the committee meeting minutes in the past at the table. I don't recall that we have.
Okay. Can we look into that maybe? I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, because we have like made decision, I know we're not making decisions, policy decisions, but we have, say, waived attorney-client privilege on an item or something. I think there should be a record of that.
I don't think we've waived it in a policy committee meeting.
I don't know.
I think we've done that in a regular meeting. But yeah, typically the purpose of minutes is to capture decisions. And since we're not making decisions in committee meetings, we haven't typically approved those minutes.
I know prior to the committee of the whole, there were published notes on committees, but I guess I don't recall if they were approved by the board.
No,
Since
I don't think we
four of the
ever have.
members wouldn't have attended, it'd be hard to approve those. But I do,
Right.
I think to Mr. Scott's point, we probably need to at least,
Well, we can address that. I can follow up with Renee, and we'll determine what the right process is for that. But right now, we do not have those in front of us to approve. Is there any further discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none. This is consent agenda brought forward by Mr. Campbell, approved by Mr. Keller. Mr. Gogoleski?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Custodio?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. Moving on to item 1E, call to the public. As a reminder, for call to the public, speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Each speaker may be limited to 3 minutes. I'll hold up this yellow folder at about 2.5 minutes to let you know that time is almost up and to wrap things up. First card I have is Michelle Walker Schaefer.
Good evening. So I just want to, over time, I kind of waited for some responses and answers. So a couple meetings ago, the agenda, the discussion was about bullying. At that same meeting, I informed you that a board member sent me a disturbing email and I felt bullied by him, and I'm wondering why there was no actions ever taken on that. I know that there's a lot of seats coming up for vote, and I'm just wondering if the one in charge's seat's coming up for vote, I'm not sure if no actions is the best actions to get reelected. And so far, I'm not seeing many actions on things that have happened with me personally up here. I also don't know if putting money in the swear jar is the best action taken on Chuck Hughes' behavior in the recent passings. So I just hope for those that are running again, they take their positions and make, and I'm sorry, for those that are still running again, you start using your positions to make bad behavior by the people that you are overseeing to pay the proper consequences and not what keeps people happy around you. I'd also like to remind that I was told that my husband and I were to reach out to Chuck Hughes over our bus issue months ago. And when we did, my husband came up here and pointed out that Chuck Hughes had never responded, even though we were told that he was the one that was in charge. Again, there was no consequences. He wasn't accountable. Still to this date, since December 6th, we never heard anything back from Chuck Hughes. My husband never got a response. So I'm just wondering whose seat it is the position to make sure that Chuck Hughes is doing his job properly and respectfully. And I've been in Hartland for 50 years, and I've never seen it so hard for the district to do things right with respect, responsibility, with a reason, without a reason. Like, we should automatically have respect and responsibility, and I'm not seeing that with a lot of families in the Hartland district from the board or the higher up staffs. On that note, what I misunderstood what Mr. Gogolewski said when I walked in here, kind of disturbing, that Chuck Hughes might possibly have a case against him on sexual harassment. Is that what you said? Isn't that what the conversation was when we walked in? Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I take that back. I thought what his question was, I thought you said there was some kind of complaint about Chuck Hughes. I misunderstood, I couldn't hear it. That's why I'm asking, because I didn't hear it properly in the back of the room. So I'm glad that that's not the case. Thank you, that's all I want to know, is that I never got any answers, and I've been coming here for 6, 7, 8 months, and still no answers have been answered to me or my husband. And I just don't know how that's right.
Next up is Aaron Croft.
Hello, thank you for the time. I've been a resident here in Hartland for 9 years. I love it here, and I'm not planning on leaving. I grew up playing a bar game called foosball, and what was great about it was that it gave me a place to go when I didn't necessarily fit in with everybody else. And what I learned along the way is that foosball has a rich history of inclusivity and acceptance. And so when my friend asked me to get involved with foosball clubs is a nonprofit, and its mission is to get tables into schools and include everyone. So when he asked me to get involved, I knew right what I wanted to do. And I went down to farms. I talked to Mrs. Brisky, and she was new, but she was willing to listen, and she helped me. And we've been able to build a fantastic program where we have all kinds of people. And you know, not everyone fits into the basketball or volleyball crowd. And everyone does fit in to foosball. We call it a sport. You do have to train, you have to practice, you have to be physically fit. It is very complex, and it's a lifelong sport that you can always play. And I believe the reason why Mrs. Brisky invited me to come in was because we're trying to find non-screen time activities for students. And this sport allows students to have interaction with others, but they're not necessarily in each other's faces. You work with a partner, yet you're not required to have a deep conversation with them. So everyone has a place. And I have a Facebook page I set up, and I get so many pictures of students high-fiving each other, kids that wouldn't necessarily have any interaction, get interaction. And it's really grown into something special. At Farms, we have 200 students that play every single day. It's there in a cafeteria, there's 5 tables, and it is full all the time. It's also the highlight of my week. So what I would like is for the board, and I have reached out to the principals of Ord Creek and the high school, by the way, and they'll get back with me. I'll keep knocking on the door. But I want to try to get the doors open so that we can have an opportunity. There's no cost to the school. We fund it ourselves through volunteers. I have a substitute coach that's here to support us. Dwayne's great. His kids went to Hartland, and we appreciate the allowance of being able to be involved with the community. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Croft. Next card is Michael Stahl.
All right. Good evening, President Coleman and esteemed board members. Thank you so much for having us today. My name is Michael Stahl. I'm the Executive Director of Foosball Clubs USA. That's right, foosball. I know it's probably a little bit different. We have a different take on wellness. So right now, currently, as it stands this school year, right in this moment, I've got 81 foosball youth programs in 23 states. One of those programs is here at Hartland Farms Intermediate, and it is one of our most cherished programs. As Aaron had stated before, we've got roughly 200 kids playing foosball every day for our lunchtime social. Aaron volunteers once a week on Mondays, as many of our volunteers do. We get them to go into the schools, we bridge connections with educators, and we certify them to go in and talk to students and play foosball and to teach foosball. And this is a really, really powerful tool that I think a lot of districts are going to realize the benefit of. But it starts here in Hartland, spreading the mission all throughout mid-Michigan. I actually have a foosball club in Charlotte Public Schools. I've got one at the high school, and I've got one at the middle school. I even have one at the teen center. We've got roughly 700 kids in the Charlotte Public School District playing foosball every day at lunch, which is just, it's incredible. Over 500 kids at Charlotte Middle School alone. I'm actually, I'm an 11-time world champion foosball player. I started playing foosball when I was 10 years old. I was also the most truant kid in 8th grade and was nearly expelled for my bad rap and poor attitude. Foosball completely changed my life. In 8th grade, I found it, and I really ran with it. So I went from truant and trouble to underclassmen awards in high school because the sport gave me grace. And I would just love personally to see the Hartland community embrace foosball in more than just the intermediate school. I'd love to see it in every school. In fact, my organization is willing to donate more equipment to your district to make this possible, and as low friction as possible. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stahl. And that is all we have for call to the public. Renee, you don't have any other cards? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 1F, Committee and Building Reports. Mr. Gogolewski.
Thank you. I have to piggyback on the comments from Mr. Aaron Croft and Mr. Michael Stahl. The program over at Farms has been incredible. What it does is it gets kids playing with one another. Big kids against smaller kids, athletic kids against not so athletic kids, kids that come out of their shell, and it gets them off electronic devices. It really is an incredible program, and the staff over at Farms has really given it high praise. So I just want to thank you for all your efforts in doing that, and I look forward to seeing an expanse of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gogolewski. Mr. Campbell?
No building report, but congratulations to the student athletes. And I know we've had a lot of testing in a couple of buildings last couple of weeks, so look forward to hearing the progress academically for the kids as well.
Thank you. Mrs. Shaw?
Thank you. I have two things. First of all, if you have not seen Addams Family at the high school, you have 3 chances this weekend. I'm always blown away that those are teenagers on the stage. The amount of work that they put in and the talent they put on that stage, you will laugh. It is fantastic. So 3 opportunities to see it this weekend. I know this past weekend was sold out, so if you're on the fence, get those tickets to see Addams Family. The second thing I have is last Wednesday night, a few board members and I, President Coleman and Trustee Custodio, attended the LESA biannual meeting that we had at Pinckney Community Schools. It was at their high school campus. Other board members from the county were there, not only to build fellowship and friendship, but we were treated to some fantastic homemade food. It was a wonderful time to get together and, talk about what's going on in each district. And that was my first time at Pinckney High School, and it was wonderful to be there. We also had a speaker kind of talk to the boards across the county about some things, different directions or different things we could add to the amazing things we're doing already in Livingston County. So just a great experience for all of us to get together, the board members across the county. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Keller?
All right, thank you. I did want to recognize also the Addams Family as part of our community education, but I will pass on that since Cindy already covered it. Thank you, Cindy. Want to highlight, I had an opportunity to go to Lakes last month, so March 18th. It was after our last board meeting, and I was able to participate in the Galaxy story time, so got to read to some of the kindergarten through 4th graders, and hopefully didn't bore the ones that were there with the book, but it seemed like it was pretty well attended, and a lot of the kids had smiles and were able to participate in some of the great books that were read by the rest of the staff. So thank you for the invitation, Mrs. Frazier, and then also to the rest of the staff for your help organizing and running that program. And then I'm going to pivot just a second, and I hope I'm not stealing Mr. Scott's thunder, but I just wanted to acknowledge that, anytime I'm at an athletic event for the middle school, Mr. Howerton is always at everything. So I just wanted to kind of take a minute. It's a little bit of, outside my swim lane. Again, I was able to work with farms in a previous role on the board. But again, I just want Mr. Howerton to know that, all of the extra efforts that he puts in, we heard today around, excellence in the class, excellence outside the class, and I guess I would say all around excellence, kind of a pun with the gymnastics team there. But, if I were giving out a Triple E award, so the excellent Eagle example, I would definitely nominate Mr. Howerton for that. Not to diminish anything that all of you that's maybe listening in the staff do every day, but given my experience, I just wanted to make sure Mr. Howerton knows that a lot of people in the community see what he does every single day, even when it's 8 o'clock at a track meet and you've been there since probably 6:30 in the morning. You're still there, putting in the time, taking pictures, talking to the kids, helping somebody that fell down or tripped or what have you. But again, appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Keller. Mr. Scott?
Yeah, so a big thanks to Mr. Hassler for giving us a report on sports. I don't think it's a coincidence that he comes in here and gets to express the academic achievement of our athletes. I don't think it's an accident. It shows the stress, I think, that our athletic department puts on athletes to stay vigilant in the classroom, and that can be missed in a lot of school districts. So it's really great to see here in Hartland that we still focus on academics even when it has to do with sports. So thank you to all that make that happen. I didn't get to do a visit at the middle school this week, but I'll echo what Mr. Keller said, the first track and field event last week was a major blowout. They'll be talking about it for years, is what my son says. And it is great to see so many staff members out and involved, especially at those long events. So a big thank you to all the staff over there that help make all those type of events special for the students.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Ms. Custodio.
So at Village, last meeting I was talking about their Marches Reading Month, Race for the Rainbow, that was put on by the PTO. And they were able to raise over $1,500 for Clara's Hope. And then I also just wanted to say thank you to all of our teachers and administrators. Testing season is a rough one, it's stressful. So your work does not go unnoticed, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you. I've got both high schools, Legacy and HVA here, and also the main campus. I actually ran into Ms. Conley from Legacy and HVA last week when I was here. And speaking of testing, she was a little bit flustered because not only does she have the high school level testing that she does with the Legacy students, but she's also responsible for 6 through 12 testing for all the HVA students. So we agreed that we would get together after all of her testing stuff was done. So good luck to her. I think she's in the home stretch with some makeups yet this week. So I'll have more to report at our next meeting. I did meet with Mr. Fitzgerald at main campus. He gave me a few highlights there. When we spoke, testing season was nearly done at that time. So PSAT and SAT were done, except for some makeups, and I believe M-STEP and makeup tests should be wrapped up by the end of this week. I can see the relief in Mrs. Gus's face. But I'd like to give a big shout out actually to Mrs. Gus, Assistant Principal Jessica Gus, for the huge amount of time and hard work that I can only imagine goes into organizing something like this, to take on all of that testing at the high school level, the different multitude of tests, particularly I think the juniors have it the worst. There's a lot that goes on. It's an incredible feat, and from what I've heard, everything has gone super smoothly. So congratulations on being almost done, and thank you for all that you do. Let's see, other highlights at the high school. Student Council is sponsoring a new spring pep assembly that'll take place this Thursday to recognize a variety of accomplishments in the school, as well as the end of testing season. They'll recognize our state champions from the winter sports season, in addition to other team and individual accomplishments, including DECA and other groups. This will take place in the gym during the school day this week. Some upcoming dates for juniors and seniors: prom, May 1st. Decision day is May 7th. That's during the school day where the counseling department recognizes all the post-secondary decisions and commitments of all the students. So that's like for the trades, that's college, it's military, it's workforce, et cetera. All of those post-secondary commitments are recognized with a fun shindig, I guess you would call it, during lunches that day. The seniors' last day in senior walk is May 8th, both here at Legacy and at main campus. Finals for all the freshmen through juniors is a little different this year because of the holiday. We have to work around the holiday. So as I understand it, first hour final is going to be that Friday, May 22nd, and then all the other finals at the high school will follow that typical 2 classes a day pattern from Tuesday through Thursday after we get back from Memorial Day. So it's a little different than what we've done in the past. And then one last note regarding our CTE programs. And of course, oh no, here it is. I didn't misplace it. Specifically the woodworking classes. Mr. Zielinski has come up with some awesome project options for the students in those classes, and has also even given them free rein to come up with their own projects, which is pretty cool. And I've had a couple kids go through the classes. I've got at least one, maybe 2 in woodworking right now. And Henry came home with this awesome pen, which I think is super cool. And he of course sees the design flaws in it that I do not, and has already committed to making a new one, which he will probably keep himself. But he has given this one to me. So I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Z for getting his mind going and getting all these kids thinking creatively and problem solving. And he's already figuring out how to fix the problems that he saw in this pen. So I truly appreciate that. I think that is it for me with building reports. Moving on to item 2A, new hire, Director of Community Education.
I move that the Board of Education, sorry, Danielle, did you want to read it?
Go ahead.
I move that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent and the assistant superintendent of personnel and student services, offers a 2-year contract to Rachel Wright as the Director of Community Education effective July 1st, 2026.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mrs. Custodio for the director, new hire for the Director of Community Education. Any discussion on the motion? I'd just like to say that I'm super excited about this one. All right, hearing no discussion. New hire, Director of Community Education, brought forward by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Ms. Custodio. Mr. Gogolewski.
An excited yes.
Thank you. Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Custodio.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion carries.
So Board of Education, after a posting and going through, I believe we ended up with 23 applicants, narrowed it down to 3 finalists. The committee overwhelmingly chose Rachel Wright as our candidate to be recommended to you tonight, and thank you for approving that. Rachel has been in the district quite some time. She has been the head secretary, Secretary 1 at Village Elementary, moved to the high school where she was the high school administrative assistant, also taking on at the same time all of the marketing campaigns for the athletic department. You see all the signage around the district, you see everything that's out there. She handled all that and has and been doing that even this year. She also, on her spare time, has been running a dentist's office, so she has that budgeting process in her. She is a people person, she is a relationship builder, and I think she will do a fantastic job. While there's no way to fill Carol's shoes, as we all know, she's been awesome. Carol will certainly help Rachel, as well as Stephanie's here tonight, the assistant director, and help Rachel move into this position. So Rachel, you cannot go wrong by approving Rachel tonight. So Rachel, thank you for being here, and thank you for wanting to do this job.
Yes, thank you. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I'm very excited to serve the community. I'm looking forward to learning from Carol and building on the great things that she has done at Community Ed. So, thank you.
Moving on to item 2B, food service equipment and Creekside Elementary walk-in.
I move that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the food service equipment purchase as presented.
Support.
Was that Mr. Keller that supported? Thank you. All right, motion by Mr. Campbell, supported by Mr. Keller, food service equipment and Creekside Elementary walk-in. Any discussion on the motion? So we had this in front of us last month. What have you got, Mr. Keller?
Just a, I think, pretty easy question. With respect to the, I think it was the GSRP increase, is that money, are we going to be able to use any GSRP money for that? I know you mentioned it was like from our food service fund.
Yes, we could. However, in this case, we're choosing to pull it from our food service fund balance, just because there's more available there than we would have in GSRP to fund it. But we could fund it from either place.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Rachel or further discussion? Outstanding. So food service equipment and Creekside Elementary walk-in, brought forward by Mr. Campbell, supported by Mr. Keller. Mr. Gogolewski.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Custodio.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. Moving on to item 2C, transportation garage hoist.
I move that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the transportation garage hoist purchase as presented.
Okay, motion by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Campbell. Is there any discussion on this motion? Okay, hearing none. Transportation garage hoist brought forward by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Campbell. Mr. Gogolewski?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Custodio?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. New and revised policies. This is where we had that potential for an alternate motion that we had raised at the beginning of the meeting. If someone would like to propose an alternate motion, then we can potentially approve all of these as we do the consent agenda. So this is considering the discussion we've already had, the questions that have already been answered and addressed with the changes in the policies in front of us. And this would approve the policies that will be stipulated in the new motion that will be proposed. And that will, so you'll know exactly what ones we're automatically approving and which ones would remain to be discussed. I think with the way it's proposed, there would be one policy remaining to be discussed, and that is 2111, which is proposed on the agenda right now to be rescinded.
I would like to make a motion to include an alternate motion. I move that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, adopts revised policies 0100, 164.2, 4210, 2105, 2110, 2370.01, 5136, 8402, 8655, 2418, 2417, 2418, and new policy, staff ethics for administrators as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Campbell. Alternate motion, including, I won't reread all of those numbers, but all the policies in front of us except 2111. Is there any discussion on that motion? Okay. So if I'm interpreting Robert's rules correctly, we need to vote to add that motion to the table, and then we will read the motion to vote on the motion. Everybody follow? Okay. So, Mr. Gogolewski, we are now voting to add this motion to the agenda as Mrs. Shaw read it.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Custodio?
Yes.
I'm a yes. So now this alternate motion has been added to the agenda. We'll now read the motion. Someone will read the motion. Hopefully we'll get a second, and then we can proceed.
I move that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, adopts revised policies 0100, 164.2, 4210, 2105, 2110, 2370.01, 5136, 8402, 8655, 2417, 2418, and new policy, staff ethics for administrators as presented.
Second.
Okay, so motion on the table is to approve the policies as presented, all policies except 2111. Is there any discussion?
I just got two things real quick. First of all, just a note to anyone watching or listening. We did have a 2.5-hour discussion last week on all these. It's available on YouTube, so you can go listen. There was a lot of thought and deliberation that went into this, not just I know we're going to pass here likely 12 policies in 2 minutes. So just so everybody's aware, you can go catch that. Second of all, a big thank you to Mr. Minsker for revising some of the policies that we had issue with to a point that everybody could be comfortable with it, specifically regarding sex education. I know there's a lot of concern in the community with what the state board has done, and I think we've been able to navigate that well, as evident by the fact that we didn't have 100 people lining up to combat the policy tonight. I think that was well crafted, so a big thank you on that.
I would also like to echo those sentiments, particularly Mr. Minsker was able to sit, although I was not able to participate in the live version, I did have an opportunity to sit down with him later in the week, and I think it was a very good conversation. So again, I appreciate Dave for your input and the few tweaks we were able to sort of talk through, and again, sort of gain that common understanding to address some of the concerns in the community. And then also, it's not in today's packet, but also thank you to Rachel for sitting down with me to talk about some of my concerns with the purchasing, I believe, and procurement policies that were also reviewed last week.
Thank you. Any further discussion, comments? Okay, so the motion on the table is the motion to approve the policies as read by Cindy Shaw, supported by Ms. Custodio. And this is all the policies on the agenda except 2111. Mr. Gogoleski.
I am happy to be the first yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Custodio.
Yes.
I'm a yes. All right. So. Yep, I had to find it. All right, so next motion up to be brought forward is regarding policy 2111.
I move that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of Greg Keller, rescinds policy 2111, value statements for students and staff as presented.
Support.
Okay, motion by Mr. Keller, supported by Mr. Scott. I wrote the wrong initial. All right, Mr. Keller, would you like to tee this up for us?
Yeah, so I think you did a good job last week of explaining it, but there was 3 policies, which 2 have already been approved, but it was the mission, the vision, and then there was this 2111 value statements. Felt those were a bit outdated based upon the efforts from the larger teams with respect to setting of the strategic plans, et cetera. So those 2 did get updated. My initial thoughts on 2111 was that, we would take the belief statements perhaps and put those in 2111, but since the direction was to move those, I think, into 2110. So in my opinion, there's no longer necessarily a value to have 2111. I think a lot of it is a little bit of flour and fluff, if you will. I think most of what, we need to look at is already codified in other policies, such as conflict of interest or ethics. I did look at other districts that have Neola as their provider, and I think most of the ones I came across didn't actually even have a 2111. So again, I think we've added a couple policies, so maybe we need to make a rule that we get rid of 1 for every 2 we add. So sort of in that spirit, I'm proposing we rescind this one.
I second that.
Okay, thanks. And I think it was probably because of my conversation with a few of you that we kept this one out of that alternate motion that Mrs. Shaw brought forward. I felt that there was a difference. I feel that there's a difference between beliefs and values, and that we cover a lot of the beliefs as part of that other policy. I think you said 2110. I don't have that one in front of me, but and though I agree with some of the issues that, like Mr. Gogoleski had brought up in the policy committee meeting, that some of these might be difficult to enforce, and maybe it's not perfect. I still feel that this has its own merit, to stand on its own. So that's why I wanted to have a little more discussion about this at the table. But again, I may be in the minority on that. Any other discussion?
Just a few comments.
Okay.
So again, for those listening, essentially what we have is two policies. One called a vision statement / guiding principles, and another called a value statement for students and staff. The vision statement and guiding principles, which we just approved, 2110, was really crafted by the team, the district, over months and months of work, starting with board discussions, community discussions, student discussions. It led to a strategic plan, and we came up with a very succinct vision statement that all of us could get behind. And so I think we're all proud to kind of put that into policy and put our stamp of approval on it. 2111 is just some canned language from Neola. I don't know that there's anything Hartland in here specific. It's just some canned language that they gave us in 2008. And I think we have done a good job of replacing it with our own verbiage and our own twist and our own, have the 3 R's and everything that's important to us. So I don't see a need to keep some canned Neola language just because it's been there for, 18 years. So I would absolutely support rescinding it.
Okay, thank you. No further discussion?
I just wanted to say to Mr. Gogolewski that I did hear you Monday, and I wasn't, for the record, sitting there with a bourbon and a cigar, so I was not in potential violation
Well,
of 2111.
I wanted some consequences if you were, so, based on this policy. So,
I had forgotten about that comment. Okay, hearing no further discussion, motion on the table is to rescind policy 2111 brought forward by Mr. Keller, supported by Mr. Scott. Mr. Gogolewski.
yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Custodio.
Yes.
I'm a no. Motion passes. Moving on to item 2E, Superintendent Salary Schedule.
I move that the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the Chief Financial Officer, approves the superintendent salary schedule as presented.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Campbell. As mentioned in email, and I think on the phone with several of you today, there's a newer version of the salary schedule that was emailed out to you today, so it's not the same as what was in the packet. This version has been reviewed and approved by legal. I know there were still some pending potential concerns, but most of the concerns that we had discussed prior to the meeting had been addressed and incorporated. The additional page, which Rachel may be able to explain a little better than me, came out of a conversation with legal, that the direction was that it felt that there should be or could be more support with respect to how the schedule was built, leaning on the teachers, on the HEA agreement, and how their salaries are increased yearly. Did I get close?
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds good. It's just basically, the format, or how we come to the numbers. It's just a document that explains how you get to the numbers on the actual salary schedule, so.
Perfect, thank you. Is there any further discussion?
So, so this will be signed by you and added to the contract, is that the idea?
It can be, but it is not legally required to have
Okay.
a signature because the approval of the board is captured in the minutes, so that documents the approval.
Okay. So the date so the minutes will have the date that it was approved. I think one of the points of contention has been the fact that, where it says 25, 26 as a current year, but we're really 10 months into that period when we approve this, and ORS doesn't want retroactive. So we're just going to approve this as it is, no signatures, no date on it, but it will be accompanied by the minutes with today's date.
Yes, yeah, the minutes are dated with today's meeting date. Any other questions, concerns? Okay. Motion on the table is superintendent salary schedule brought forward by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Campbell. Mr. Gogolewski.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Custodio.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. All right, item 3A, Director of Operations job description. This was, Mr. Hughes had sent this out to us. He had collected some feedback, implemented some changes based on that feedback from a couple of board members. So hopefully this is something close to what we would be able to publish. Based on the discussion, if someone were to make a motion to approve it, waive policy and approve, I wouldn't be opposed. I know that timing is of the essence. Trying to get this position filled in a timely fashion is going to be a challenge. So if you have any further concerns, let's hear them and see if we can come to an agreement on something that is functional and agreeable.
Well, I guess there's not a motion yet. I'll hold off.
Okay, anybody want to discuss
I mean,
concerns?
I don't have any concerns. I was going
Okay.
to say, I did give some feedback to Mr. Hughes, and he incorporated it into it. I appreciate that. I thought, putting this job description together, I mean, I know we've done 3 in the last 2 months, so by the third time around, I think we got the hang of it, but he did incorporate some thoughts on finding someone with some master facilities plan experience and giving a little leeway on the CDL, so thank you for doing that. I guess, normally I'm the one to say, it has to be in 2 meetings and get discussed and approved. This has been floating around to the community for quite a few weeks in multiple board packages, even though that meeting was canceled. I think the community has had ample chance to jump in, share thoughts, concerns, et cetera. So I'd be happy to be the one to make a motion to waive policy in order to approve the job description tonight so that we can get the ball rolling.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table to waive board policy, to approve Director of Operations job description as presented.
I'm not sure, I don't think we're waiving board policy.
I think we are.
So is it
I mean, we can motion to add anything, you know what I mean, to vote. I'm not sure, I'm not sure that's the right wording, is just what I'm thinking.
Okay.
If we make a motion to approve the job description as presented, I think that's the right thing to do. I'm not sure we have to waive board policy. Mr. Scott, what board policy would we be waiving? Do you know?
Well, that was the wording that I gave to you, but.
Right. I'm just wondering, though, if that's,
we certainly have an agenda policy, I guess, that we're changing, so we could.
and it has
Just-
been on, you're right, it was on an agenda, but it was canceled, that meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're safe, if you don't mind me speaking, you're safe just to
Please.
say waive board policy, and
Okay.
that way it's captured.
And then it's a
Thank you.
it's a two-parter, right? We're gonna,
Waiving policy
we're not-
to approve.
we're not passing the job description with this vote. We're just
Correct.
simply opening up the opportunity to do so.
Yes.
Just capturing this. No, that's okay. Thank you for sharing.
Glenn was a second.
Yes, so it was brought forward by Mr. Scott and supported by Mr. Gogoleski. And this is a motion to waive board policy to approve the Director of Operations job description as presented. Any discussion on that motion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Gogoleski?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Custodio?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So that motion carries. We have a job description. Oh, that was just to,
Yeah.
that was, yes. So now then, someone needs to motion to,
I move to approve the Director of Operations job description as presented.
Second.
okay, motion to approve the job description, the Director of Operations job description as presented. Motion by Mr. Scott, and that was also supported by Mr. Gogoleski. Okay, Mr. Gogoleski,
Yes.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Custodio.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. Moving on to item 3B, agreements for law enforcement services for discussion.
So, yeah, so Board of Education, obviously, it is time to re-up our security resource officers as well as our Fortis school safety officers. We have an agreement sent to me from Sheriff Murphy to extend the next 3 years of the SROs for the middle school and high school. And you can see that the compensation numbers changed a little bit. And I think I gave you a write-up that calculated all that. But again, there are numbers there for those two resource officers. And then Fortis, you'll see that Fortis upped their costs quite substantially. Fortis upped their costs because of the insurance issue that they were running into, I guess. And so when they sent this to us, they said, yeah, because of our insurance increases, we've got to, pass it on to you. Also, just a reality check for you all, just a reminder that 31AA can no longer pay for Fortis school safety officers. It doesn't make sense, but the state has said that they have to be police officers, I believe, even though we are making the argument that Fortis officers, are retired officers. I have talked with our representatives and our state senator at a legislative meeting to say this has to be dealt with in the next round of 31A because it doesn't seem appropriate for us. I think what they were trying to do is to keep you from hiring just any old security person off the street, right? But Fortis people are retired police officers that carry a weapon. So anyway, this is for your consideration. Certainly take a look at it. Contact myself or Rachel and talk about it with us. And then we've got to make a decision on when we're going to move forward with this and for the next school year.
Thank you.
Mr. Hughes, sorry.
Yep.
Are there any recommended changes from you or the team on carrying these contracts forward?
No recommended changes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So please, as you review, please get your questions back to Mr. Hughes and his team as appropriate so we can have those questions answered and in place before the next meeting where we'll address this for decision. Okay, moving on then to Cromaine District Library Letter of Agreement for discussion. Mr. Hughes.
Yes. Board, you have in front of you in the packet a letter from the Cromaine Library, Sarah Nybert, the library director, in regards to the work being done next to the 51 building. The 51 building, the whole west side of the 51 building is being renovated. They're adding a park there. Part of when we sold the 21 building, there used to be a building there called the 21 building. It was the consolidated building. When all the single school buildings came together, the 21 building existed there. We sold that years ago to the Cromaine Library. In the deed of sales, it requires them to continue to provide us access to parking and a bus turnaround. That was part of the deed when we sold that to them. So we are working with them on designing this. We've been involved, Carol Hayes, Matt Marino, myself, and having the conversations. This particular document simply says in there that we would be willing potentially to help pay for the asphalt, part of the asphalt parking lot on the west side of 51. It's currently a gravel dirt parking lot. We are, you might know, we are renovating the east side of the 51 building to move some playground equipment, fence it off, and put a gravel parking lot on the east side. But we still will have this asphalt parking lot on the west side. So this is in front of you. We'll have to have you approve me signing off on this. And again, it doesn't dictate a number. It says we'd be willing to have a conversation about what we might be willing to help with that parking lot because we would be using it. And we want to safeguard our well that's on that side of the building and other equipment on that side of the building.
Mr. Hughes, in the terms of the deed that you're talking about with the 21 building, was there any stipulations on who's responsible for footing the bill for some of those accommodations that you mentioned? Is that specified in there or is it not?
No, I don't believe it is. It's just that we will collaborate with each other, but we will have access to parking and a bus turnaround. So we don't necessarily have to, but it seems like as a partner, we should at least have a conversation about what we're willing to do together.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand the baseline so we know what.
Will you get a quote for the east side too, or are we not close to being there, just for consideration of the equipment, material being there at the same time?
Yeah, we're working on the east side, and I'm going to be putting together a document to send out at the end of the week showing all of the maintenance things that we're doing, but we don't have a quote yet because what we have to do is have it engineered and show where everything's going to be.
Okay. Is that coming together same time as this, or no, it's too far out?
We want the east side new parking lot, gravel lot to be done before April 15th or August 15th. So we're working rapidly.
Okay, great.
Do we know this reconfiguration, is it going to cause a loss? I know with the gravel spaces, it's hard to tell how many are actually there, but is this going to be a few less than what we can probably fit right now?
It will be less, and that's why we're adding the gravel lot on the east side. But we also have parking, there'll be parking along the edge. And we also can use, and our staff currently uses, the paved parking lot across Hartland Road. It's not a very far distance. Yeah. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. So there, yes, it will be, but that's why we're doing the other side of the building.
Okay. No other questions at this time? Okay, again, obviously, as you read through this, please funnel any questions to Mr. Hughes to get them answered so that we can come back and make a decision on this one next month.
Sorry, one other question. Is there any timing for when, like, the next phase of design work and such would be completed, so we would have some ideas of what the numbers might look like?
From what I understand, the library wants to move fairly quickly. Mr. Gogleski might know more since His wife's
I've got a
on the
little
board.
inside info on that, yeah. I do know that there were several plans presented, and I think Mr. Marino was a big part of giving his okay on that. And I think one of the primary concerns was having an area that was able to have a bus turnaround, which I think was really important. So several plans were gone over, several were rejected, and now they're at a point where everything looks agreeable, so.
Yeah, I didn't see any specific timelines that were mentioned in the letter, so I think it's all.
But yes, the Crow-Main Library is looking to definitely move forward with their plans, so.
And keep in mind, by authorizing me to sign this document, it's just authorizing me to sign that we'll have the conversation. Obviously, expenditures of money will come back to the board.
Right. Thank you. All right. Item 3D, LESA budget for 26-27 for discussion. Mr. Hughes?
So you have this in front of you early. As you might recall, last year it came very late, and we were scrambling to try to meet the June 1st deadline of adopting a resolution for the Livingston Education Service Agency budget. Also keep in mind that 5 school districts in the county vote on this. If it passed, 3-2, it's 3-2. So, but the point being is you have a PowerPoint in your packet that lays out the budgetary expenses for LESA. You then have the general education fund ledger with notations showing why things might have decreased or increased. And then on the back side of that, you have the special education fund increase, decrease ledger showing where things have landed. The purpose of this coming in front of you is that the board, under the law, the board is expected to either pass or deny a resolution to support this budget for LESA, whom we work in partnership with educating our children. So it's here. If you have questions, I would ask you to reach out to Rachel, since she's more the numbers person. And then if she needs to get with LESA to answer your questions, she can then forward that to you. Is that okay with you, Rachel?
Is there going to be anyone from LESA at our next meeting to answer any questions, or no? Normally, Mr. Hubert comes in and...
He did last year because it was such last minute. Not every year does he come. However, certainly if the board wants me to invite him and he can come, I can. If in the meantime you have questions and you get them to Rachel, maybe she can answer those and he doesn't have to spend his time here. But again, it really depends on what would be the holdup of passing this resolution, I guess.
Okay. Thank you. So please be sure to review, send questions to Rachel or potentially to Mr. Hubert and his team. Okay, moving on. Item 4, closed session request.
I move that the Board of Education enters into closed session to discuss written correspondence that is exempt from disclosure under the attorney-client privilege and a complaint concerning an employee, with the employer requesting closed session per section 8(1)H and 8(1)A respectively of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Campbell. So Mr. Ray Davis is here from Troon to meet with us under section 8(1)H to discuss a letter that he's brought with him. And then we have the request from Mr. Hughes to enter into 8(1)A closed session to address a disciplinary issue.
So this is essentially is this two separate closed sessions, or is it just one?
It's one to cover both.
Okay.
We will address 8(1)H first. Two separate closed sessions.
Section 8(1)H requires a roll call vote, not a closed session. They go into closed session under section 8(1)A. If we have a request from the employee.
So our vote right now will be for 8(1)H, then we'll come back out here and do a separate vote for 8(1)A.
Okay. My apologies, I misunderstood that from our conversation earlier, Mr. Davis. Yes, so Mrs. Shaw, could you reread that with that change, please?
So to be clear, I'm only reading the H for motion 1. Okay. Redo, rewind. I move that the Board of Education enters into closed session to discuss written correspondence that is exempt from disclosure under the attorney-client privilege per Section 81H of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
Okay, so the motion as it was reread correctly was read by Mrs. Shaw, supported by, was that Mr. Scott? Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. This is closed session request for 81H to discuss privileged documentation brought forward by Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Scott. Mr. Gogolewski. Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw.
Yes.
Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Custodio.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion carries. So we will adjourn to closed session. Once that closed session is complete, we will come back, read a second motion, which is the other side of this original, to enter into 81A closed session. Okay, thank you.
Do we have any message for people watching or listening or here as far as?
I guess once we come out of the first closed session, well, we'll come back. I don't know that we'll have any decision to make from that, as we're just reviewing information that Mr. Davis is bringing us. If we go into 81A closed session, then there may be a decision to make after that regarding the disciplinary issue. But other than that, there's nothing left.
So there may be a
on the
decision based on what happens in closed session, but there's not going to be substantial meeting left in open session.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
everything.
it's what's left
Everything
here.
will be available online still.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's going to pause that for now and then restart when we come back to open session. Okay. All right, thank you. Are we up and running? Awesome, thank you. All right, we have concluded closed session under 81H. And now the next item on the agenda is a request for closed session under 81A.
I move that the Board of Education enters into closed session to discuss a complaint concerning an employee with the employer requesting closed session per section 81A of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
Point of correction, did it say with the employee requesting closed session or employer?
The employee requesting, my apologies.
I heard something else, so I wanted to.
Thank you. So I'm sorry, that was Mrs. Shaw brought that forward. Who supported? Anybody?
Cable.
You did. Thank you. Okay, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Mr. Gogolewski?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Custodio?
Yes.
I'm a yes. That motion carries. So we will adjourn to closed session. There may be a decision to be made following closed session, but aside from that, that is almost all that is remaining on our agenda. And we'll pause again online, and we'll jump back as soon as we come back to open session. Did our closed session regarding the 81A request. Next up on the agenda, we need to vote on the outcome of that meeting.
I move to approve the recommended disciplinary letter to the superintendent to be delivered by the president.
Support.
Okay, motion from Mrs. Shaw, supported by Mr. Campbell to approve the recommended disciplinary letter to the superintendent to be delivered by the board president. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Gogolewski?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Custodio?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Motion carries. Thank you. And last couple items here. Future meetings, May 4th, special meeting for Mr. Hughes' evaluation. And then again, May 18th, regular meeting here. That's our next regular meeting for the month of May. Any informational items to cover? I didn't think so. All right, we're adjourned, 9:19.